Now we're going to work on dividing square roots. And we'll be using the quotient property. Often what we'll be doing is starting where we have the square root of a quotient, and we'll replace that with a quotient of square roots. For instance, if I'm going to simplify the square root of 3/4, I can use the quotient property to rewrite that as square root of 3 over square root of 4. So I'll replace this with square root of 3 divided by square root of 4, and of course the square root of 4 is 2. This is considered simplified because we don't have any perfect squares in the radican. Try this one. We'll replace this with the square root of 9 over the square root of 25, and that will simplify to 3/5. Here's another. Please notice we already have a factor of 3 that's being multiplied to this square root. I'll use the quotient property to think of this as square root of 7 divided by square root of 9. Of course, the square root of 9 is going to be 3. And I'm also going to think of 3 outside of the parentheses as 3 over 1, in the sense that I have a 3 times square root of 7 in the numerator and a 3 times 1 in the denominator, and so those factors of 3 can reduce, and I'll be left with just the square root of 7. Try this one. After using the quotient property, I'll have 2 in the numerator and y squared in the denominator. How about this? I'll use the quotient property to get square root of x divided by square root of 36. Of course, the square root of 36 is 6. I can think of this as 2 divided by 1. So this factor of 2 will take the factor of 2 and 6, leaving a factor of 3. Here's another. After rewriting the square root of the quotient as a quotient of square roots, I'm going to start by just working with the square root of 49, which I know is 7. And then the 7's will reduce, leaving square root of r to the 5th. And then 2 will go into 5 twice, so I'll have a factor of r squared outside with a remainder of 1, so I'll have a factor of r inside. And you can do these at the same time if you'd like. I just did it one step at a time so I wouldn't lose anyone. How about here? After using the quotient property, square root of 9 is 3, square root of m to the 4th is m squared, and then I'll have a factor of 3 in both the numerator and denominator. That reduces to a factor of 1, and that'll leave me with negative 1 over m squared. Try this one. It's a little more complicated. After I use the quotient property, I notice square root of 25 is 5. I'm going to reduce the factors of 5, leaving just p times the numerator. Now I know that 8 is 4 times 2, and so square root of 4 will give me a factor of 2 outside, and then the index of 2 will divide 5, so I'll have a factor of p squared outside, and I'll have a factor of p inside, and then this factor of 2 will be inside also. Last, bases are the same and I'm multiplying, so this will just be the third power of p. Well, that will conclude this video where we've worked with the quotient property for square roots.